Okay, we're going to be talking about the regulation of the heart as a part of maintaining homeostasis within the body. So, the heart is a myogenic muscle, which means that it can generate its action potential by itself, which is how your heart beats involuntarily and why you don't have to really think about it. And there are pacemaker cells within your heart that can generate spontaneous action potentials, which allow your heart to continuously beat. So this is the electrical annotated version of the heart. So this doesn't show the conducting pathways of blood, but rather the electrical conducting pathways. So intrinsic control of the heart starts off with the SA node, SA just being sinoatrial. So the SA node starts the impulse and it sets the overall pace of how fast your heart is beating, and this is where the electrical impulse is generated. So this is the first step. Then the electrical impulse is sent to the AV node, the atrioventricular node. And the atrioventricular node delays the impulse to ensure the atrium is completely emptied of blood. So delays it by like 0.1 seconds to make sure that the entire chamber is empty of blood, to make sure there's an optimization of the volume of blood that is going through the heart. And then it goes to the bundle of His, where it sends the signal to each ventricle, because both ventricles have to contract simultaneously for your heart to beat. And then finally it goes to the Purkinje fibers, which are at the bottom of the ventricles, and they signal the ventricles to contract simultaneously. And Purkinje fibers are fast transmitting fibers, so they're able to pass the signal along really quickly. So it goes from the SA node to the AV node, down to the bundle of His, and then to the Purkinje fibers. And that allows your heart to work and beat as one. And the rate of impulse generated by the electrical impulse, The rate of impulse can be affected by the levels of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and also hormones. The level of oxygen and carbon dioxide is detected by chemoreceptors within your blood, and this is how our heart rate increases when we have exercise happening, because your oxygen levels drop and your carbon dioxide levels increase, and therefore to ensure that your body doesn't fail, your heart needs to keep pumping oxygen to be delivered to all aspects of your body. And then in terms of hormones, we have two main neurotransmitters. We have adrenaline and noradrenaline. And adrenaline increases your heart rate and the force of contractions. And noradrenaline constricts your blood vessels to raise blood pressure. Okay, so that's intrinsic control of the heart. That's where the control of the heart is restricted to just the heart itself because it's myogenic. Then we have extrinsic control of the heart, which is where the control happens outside of the heart, and it's regulated by the autonomic nervous system. So there's two main components of the autonomic nervous system, and that's the parasympathetic and the sympathetic system. And usually when we think about this, we think about parasympathetic being rest and digest, and sympathetic being fight or flight. So the parasympathetic system causes slower heart rate, and it's active when we're resting, when we don't really need to make any voluntary action using our skeletal muscles. And the parasympathetic nervous system, when it's activated, it releases acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter, and it slows down the ring rate of the SA node. So it directly affects the intrinsic control by slowing down the rate of the electrical impulses sent, because our heart doesn't need to beat so fast when we're resting, and it decreases the heart rate and our overall cardiac output to conserve energy. And then the sympathetic autonomic nervous system is our fight or flight reaction. So it increases our heart rate and increases the contraction force of the heart, which increases the overall cardiac output. And it's active during times of exercise or emotional stress, when our body feels like we are in danger or we need to be active. And the sympathetic nervous system releases either adrenaline or epinephrine to cause the heart to contract more forcefully and increase both heart rate and cardiac output. And these signals from the autonomic nervous system travel down your brainstem and through the spinal cord to reach you. Yeah, that's everything for regulation of the heart, both intrinsic and extrinsic.